On the news, President Tinubu to present 2024 budget in 2 weeks. Reps to intervene in federal government as ASUU disagreement over withheld salaries. And Nigeria, 119 other countries vote in favor of immediate ceasefire in ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas. It's a pleasure to have you join us on the news. I'm Simisola Adigo. Barring any last-minute change of plans, President Bola Tinubu is expected to present the 2024 budget to the National Assembly within the next 2 weeks. Also, a supplementary budget for 2023 will be submitted by the President for the National Assembly's consideration. Chairman, Senate Committee on Appropriation, Solomon Adiola, shared these details during the inaugural meeting of the Senate Committee on Appropriation. Adiola says his committee will be working with the Finance Minister and the Minister of Budget and Planning to make sure that the 2024 budget is passed before December 31, 2023.
This is a government that has come with a renewed hope mantra, that is to give the nation a renewed hope on what the nation tends to have believed that can't come to pass. And in doing that, a lot of work needs to go into that so that by the time they'll be presenting their document, which is called budget, it will be an all-encompassing document that will take care of all of that, that is the expectation of the people by the time the document is eventually laid. In terms of will the Senate be able to do a thorough job, you can be rest assured there is nothing that we are to do. We are just to consider to ensure that the policies of the government that have been brought to us in a numerical terms called budget, historically look into and verify to ensure that it meets the expectation of the people. And that's what we'll be doing. Definitely we'll go out of our way to ensure that we look into that document thoroughly, and by the time we are passing it into law, we'll have ensured that every areas that needs to be covered and to be part of the budget will have been taken care of. So in terms of whether doing a thorough job, you can be rest assured we will do our best and do a thorough job that Nigerians will be happy by the time the budget is passed into law. Well, immediately the MTF is passed into law by the National Assembly, we will have the budget. And I know the Economic Coordinating Minister and the Minister of Budget and National Planning are working around the clock and to ensure that all the necessary funding that will support the document that will be laid before us is at least in place before the budget eventually. In the next 1 or 2 weeks, by the special government marks, you should have the budget and we can start working on it accordingly.
The National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, says President Bola Tinubu is committed to credible elections, assuring the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, of no interference in the off-cycle Bayelsa, Kogi and Imo governorship elections. Ribadu gave the assurance on Friday when he met with INEC Chairman Mahmood Yakubu, along with the Commission's national commissioners and other members of the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security. The gathering, held at the NSA office in Abuja, is part of the consultative meetings by the Commission ahead of the November 11, 2023 off-season exercise. Security of voters, critical election materials, and the protection of collation centers were part of the concerns raised by the INEC chairman during Friday's meeting.
We are ready. We will be there for you. We want to give assurance to Nigerians that this election will be even better than whatever we have had in the past. This election is going to be free and fair. This election will be without interference. This election is going to be without violence. This election is going to be credible. It's going to be a litmus test for us. 3 important states. One in this part of Nigeria, one in the southeast, and one in the south-south. And we are ready. We will provide what it takes to ensure that we will have a credible election.
The House of Representatives has resolved to intervene in the lingering disagreements between the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, over unpaid 8-month salaries. The resolution was sequel to a unanimous adoption of a motion by Paul Namchi Labour Party Enugu State and co-sponsored by Aminu Jaji APC Zamfara State at plenary on Thursday. Moving the motion, Namchi says the university lecturers play a crucial role in the education system by providing knowledge, guidance and mentorship to future leaders. He said that ensuring a stable and motivated academic workforce was critical to educational institution development. In a swift and proactive response to stall activities of economic saboteurs, NNSB Croft Patrol Team, vectored by the Maritime Domain Awareness Facility, the Falcon Eye Alignment, has intercepted a large wooden boat within Lagos anchorage. The wooden boat, laden with over 300 drums, pumping machines and other equipment, were prevented from getting to its destination to perpetrate illegal bunkering, which could have robbed the nation of huge quantities of products for consumption by Nigerians. Commander NNSB Croft Commodore Kolawole Oguntuga, who represented by his deputy captain Christian Akokota, commenced a timely interception by the patrol, saying it prevented disaster associated with illegal handling of inflatable petroleum products by unscrupulous elements. He also says the suspects will be handed over to the appropriate agency to investigate their motives and the identities of their sponsors.
Nigerian Navy Ship Beecroft patrol team, on receiving intel from the state-of-the-art Maritime Domain Awareness Surveillance Facility, that's the Falcon Eye, intercepted a large wooden boat around Lagos Anchorage area. At the time of arrest, the vessel was en route to an unknown destination, and it had a crew of 8 and 300 250 liters drums, as well as pumping machines and other items. Accordingly, the personnel were quickly arrested and transferred to the base. And this proactive response by the team, I must say, saved the nation a large quantity of petroleum products which could have been used by the common Nigerians. It also goes to reiterate the Nigerian Navy's unwavering commitment under the leadership of the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral E.I. Ogala, to ensure that the Navy maintains safe, governed spaces within Nigeria's maritime environment to ensure that perpetrators of illegalities are effectively brought to justice.
Still on security, the Federal Capital Territory Police Command has paraded 13 suspects arrested in connection with kidnapping, armed robbery, missing organs and other crimes. Operatives of the force also arrested some youths after beating to death one Tijani Yakubu of Kubusa village on allegations of causing the disappearance of the male organ of one Emmanuel Danladi. The FCT Commissioner of Police, Garba Harana, who paraded the suspects in Abuja, says the command would not relent in curtailing the activities of criminals in the axis as it solicits the cooperation of residents in the spirit of community policing. He added that all suspects will be charged to court after proper investigation.
I wish to reassure the FCT residents that the command under my leadership will do all that is humanly possible to prevent crime and criminality. But when it does occur, we will try as much as possible to detect it. To all law-abiding citizens of FCT, I wish to solicit for your kind support and cooperation in the spirit of community policing. Together, we shall defeat crime and criminality.
In response to the devastating floods in various communities across Lagos and Ogun states, the Nigerian Senate has passed a resolution directing the National Emergency Management Agency (NEMA) to provide relief materials to the affected victims. The The Senate's decision came after Senator Tokunbo Abiro, representing Lagos East Senatorial District, raised a motion addressing the flood disaster in areas such as Ikosi, Sherry, and Agboiketu in Lagos and Ogun State. This motion, categorized under matters of public importance, emphasized the rising water levels in tributaries, including the Oya Dam, as a significant contributor to the ongoing flooding crisis. The Senate urgently appealed to the federal government for intervention.
Further dismayed that communities around Ikorodu Road, shortly after Mile 12, such as Agility and Owode Elede, Irawo, Ajegunle, Famous, down to Itowolo, have been taken over by flood. Alarmed that there is an urgent humanitarian crisis occasioned by the flood, as those who were sacked by the flood are hanging around with family members and friends, and only a few of their belongings could be salvaged. Urge the executive to implement the recommendations of the Presidential Committee for the development of a comprehensive plan of action, which recommend the establishment of a National Flood Management Council in Nigeria to serve as a central body responsible for coordinating flood management activities nationwide.
This has become an annual ritual. I remember the year 2010 when we had something major like this. I had the privilege of inviting the then President, Goodluck Jonathan, who visited Majido and also the Sherry area. And part of what we needed to do is to look at a holistic approach to this global warming problem that is leading to flood everywhere in most locations in Nigeria. So far, what we have been able to do is palliatives, because without any doubt, the total solution is not going to be cheap.
Direct the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to send relief materials to the victims of the flood in the affected communities in Lagos and Ogun states. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
As the war between Israel and Hamas rages on, Nigeria, alongside 119 other countries on Friday, have voted in favor of a humanitarian ceasefire in the ongoing conflict, following the failure of 4 draft resolutions at the UN Security Council. At the UN General Assembly on Friday, while 120 countries voted in favor, 14, including the US and Israel, voted against. A total of 45 countries abstained. According to UN News, the resolution was on the protection of civilians and upholding legal and humanitarian obligations, demanding that all parties immediately and fully comply with obligations under international humanitarian and human rights laws, particularly in regards to the protection of civilians and civilian objects. A Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, has been experiencing a wave of insecurity in a couple of months, which suggests there is a need for all the security agencies in Nigeria's capital to up their game in order to effectively secure lives and property in the seat of power. TV360 Nigeria's Folashade Olusegun in this report looks at how the spate of criminal activities is affecting the residents of Abuja.
Both the city center of FCT and some of its outskirts are no longer safe from the activities of kidnappers and daredevil one-chance operators terrorizing commuters during the day and at night. Motorists and commuters have been indiscriminately robbed and abducted in some locations. Despite several reports about criminal activities, police authorities seem not to be winning this battle. We are on the streets in Abuja to ask residents about the resurgence of one-chance robbery and if they feel safe in their environment.
This kind of things have been happening many years back. Not only one chance, so many things. Every new elected government, there must be new things that bad boys are doing. Well, actually, to my point of view, it's because of we have many graduates in Nigeria, especially in FCT here, that are seeking for employment. They do not have job opportunity. So, and they think that the way forward is to start criminal things.
Our system is very, very bad. Sometimes such criminals will be caught And before you know, they will be let go once they are taken to the station. I don't know how that happened, but it's a major challenge. That's why if government want to really stop it, they will stop it.
Once upon a time, the Federal Capital Territory of Abuja used to be a city known of its serenity and security, but that seems to have changed as criminal elements who lure unsuspecting commuters into vehicles to rob them in what is called one-chance robbery, now unleash a wave of terror of the city. Chief Audu Innocent Ogbe, a three-time minister and former national chairman of People's Democratic Party, says poor governance and lack of accountability in the local government system is responsible for the menace.
Young people have come in search of life. They can't afford it. Many have gone into crime. Also because not enough is happening in rural areas. And everybody is blaming one man, the president. Nobody blames the governor. Nobody blames the local government chairman. It was the Buhari administration. Now is the Tinubu administration. But you have your budgets, you have your programs in the states. Are they working? And if they are not, the Nigerian populace should turn around and ask what is going on in local governments and in states. The blame should be placed where it belongs.
After the death of Miss Greatness Olufemi, a young influential Nigerian, lawmakers during a plenary on Thursday, October 5, decried an alarming level of insecurity in the seat of power.
What we ought to do now, Mr. President, is to set a whole one day legislative day, and invite the National Security Advisor, the Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Defense Staff, the Chief of Naval Staff, the Chief of Air Force, and the Inspector General of Police, and the DSS, and the NIA, and bring them here.
A trending video of a broad day of one-chance activities also raised concerns as a young man could be seen desperately clinging to the door of a moving car. To nip this menace in the bud, security enforcement agency will need to up their game in order to restore confidence in them.
Many of them are in court. If you followed my release, my statement, we have charged many of them to court. Out of 50-something suspects, we only had, I think, 13 or 14 here. They are in court already. We are not keeping them in the cell again. We don't want to violate any law, any rule. The thing is that once we have credible evidence to prosecute you, we take you to court.
With the current situation, Abuja residents have taken safety as their sole responsibility despite the assurances from the Minister of Federal Capital Territory to keep the city safe, but one can only hope the fight against insecurity will be achieved by all stakeholders in order to return Abuja to what it used to be. Olusegun Folashade, reporting for TV 360, Abuja.
We'll grab a short break now, but still to come, Nigeria commences CNG initiative with 7 conversion centers. We'll give details when News Now returns. Welcome back. Let's briefly take you through our major stories. Barring any last-minute change of plans, President Bola Tinubu is expected to present the 2024 budget to the National Assembly within the next 2 weeks. Also, a supplementary budget for 2023 will be submitted by the President for the National Assembly's consideration. Chairman, Senate Committee on Appropriation, Solomon Adiola, who shared these details during the inaugural meeting of the Senate Committee on Appropriation, says his committee will be working with the Finance Minister and Minister of Budget and Planning to make sure that the 2024 budget is passed before December 31, 2023. He also told you that the House of Representatives has resolved to intervene in the lingering disagreement between the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, over unpaid 8-month salaries. The resolution was sequel to a unanimous adoption of a motion by Paul Napchi, Labour Party Enugu State, and co-sponsored by Aminu Jaji, APC Zamfara State at plenary on Thursday. Moving the motion, Napchi says that university lecturers play a crucial role in the education system by providing knowledge, guidance, and mentorship to future leaders. In case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store and Huawei App Gallery. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. On business, the federal government has commenced the long-awaited compressed natural gas CNG initiative with the handing over of 2 CNG fueled buses to the management of the State House in Abuja on Friday. Speaking with journalists, Project Director of the Presidential CNG Initiative, Michael Oluwagbemi, says the initiative will start with 7 conversion centers and kits, as state government have already indicated investment interest in the CNG buses. In his remarks, managing partner of PCNGI, Chinedu Ogbebu, lauds the patronage of made-in-Nigeria vehicles by the federal government, saying it is a way of deepening industrialization.
Various states have acquired CNG buses, and we intend to, we know that the Nigerian states are looking forward to a cleaner, cheaper form of transportation. And Mr. President, building on the legacies of the predecessor, is ensuring that all Nigerians get these transportation that they need, that is Nigerian-owned, because Nigeria is a gas country with very few smaller quantity of crude oil. So he wants to make sure that the Nigerian public is not subjected to the price of transportation occasioned by international conflagrations, rather that they are being able to use the gas that Nigeria produce.
Nigeria is actually a gas-powered or a gas-producing country. Unfortunately, we've been focusing on oil. So what I mean by that is that now is the time for us to, harness this energy resource. Why we won't fail is that, like I said, we've been working on this for a while. And, the most important thing, quite frankly, is that once you have the president backing any initiative, not just by, policies, but action, right? We then know that all the industry players, all the regulators, everybody, all the stakeholders will get behind this. So we think that this is the time, and and it's also very timely because subsidy removal has impacted everybody.
And in entertainment, the theme for the 3rd edition of the Humour Awards has been unveiled in Lagos on Thursday. Speaking at the unveiling, the founder of the Humour Awards, Uche Dominic, says his intention is to solve the needs in the comedy industry, hence giving it more value. Chidi Igwe was there and tells us more.
Nigeria has witnessed the comedy revolution that's taken the entertainment industry by storm. One can say it is so because humor is used as an antidote for stress, pain, and suffering. Unveiling this year's Humor Award with the theme Impossible is Nothing, the organizers say it is time they gave back to those who put smiles on the face of Nigerians and the world at large.
An award is not for somebody, it's for the industry. So it's now up to us. We have created something for you. It's now up to you, the stakeholders in the comedy industry, to make sure that it is sustainable, not talk down on it, because we're going to make a lot of mistakes in trying to create something great and unique. But it's up to you as the stakeholders to help us out in making sure that this award is sustained beyond our existence.
With the 1st and the 2nd edition of the Humour Awards, we thought to ourselves and said, you know what, we're going to make the 3rd edition even bigger and better. So we are taking the Humor Awards events online, and that is like the biggest market right now. So we're making use of Google ads, digital ads, sponsored ads, making sure we're having engagement, and we're even going to use influencers to also push the brand.
The awards are evolving as 4 new categories have been added according to the organizers.
We added the best comic female skit maker, the best comic act. I think we included the best stage performance, and then individual personality that has supported the comedy industry individually and with their resources.
Some notable comedians present at the unveiling says the award is a thing of pride as it gives them a sense of belonging and encourages them to do more.
When you are striving so much and everything, it's very nice for you to get somebody to crown your effort, like to give you accolades for what you are doing. So I'm really happy for Humor Awards for this initiative.
Music comedy has grown into something that even me can't even explain fully. I think in the next 5 years or the next 2 years, we might even have a course on music comedy because it's getting bigger than my own imagination.
Date and venue of the 3rd edition will be revealed at a later time, according to the organizers.
And Sponsor Nigeria Sports Performance Reward Fund, a private sector-led program, has launched a 10 billion naira fundraiser in Abuja. The Performance Fund launch program is set aside to directly reward athletes who win at the Olympics, Commonwealth Games, All Africa Games, and other major championships. One of the SPRF committee members, Chioma Junwa, a former Nigerian international, says the aim is to make sports an oasis of excellence in Nigeria and also motivate athletes while urging the youths to refrain from crime and embrace sports as a source of livelihood.
Trying to motivate the athletes, paying them back for representing us well, and trying to attract the private parastatals to have this kind of a sports orientation that will be able to benefit everybody, both the athletes and our society as general. Because when you will have athletes doing well and you have people sponsoring them, and many other young ones will now, they will want to come in to get exactly the reward which these athletes have gotten. So I think it's a very good strategy to bring our youth into sports and education, because that's what my foundation is campaigning about. So when you drag the youth into sports, it there means you are trying to stop them from going into crime. And when a youth is getting a good quality money from sports, he will know that it doesn't pay to do crime.
Well, that's our bulletin on News Now. I'm glad you stayed with us. See you again next time. Bye for now.